So, who is the producer? So, who be here? Who giving me signals? Start. Neke. No, finish your life. Good evening and welcome to September edition of Marriage Talk here in the Reverend Peter Quay Memorial Methodist Church, Osu. We bring you this program every second Friday of the month with an important topics affecting marriages and families, and we look at how to deal with it. The purpose of this program is to serve as part of our church's contribution to the society by educating both married couples and unmarried couples on issues affecting marriage life. You can follow us on our social media handles, that is Facebook, rpkdmmc, YouTube, rpkdmmc. Today, our topic is Christian parenting. Last month, we started it and we are continuing it. Without wasting much time, I would like to introduce my very important personalities here with me. They are here to help us digest the topic today. And with me here on my right is our own Mrs. Esther Achremanison. She is a counselor, a professional counselor for that matter. Mommy, you are welcome. And then I have with me here Dr. N.O. Mensataki. He's here with us. Last he was here, you know what he did. He was on point. Say, you are welcome. And our own mama, you know, Justice Sophia Sarboche. She's a high court judge. She's been here since we started the program. You all know her. Her contribution to this program is so massive. We thank you so much for always responding to us. You are all welcome.
Thank
you
very much.
And our guests are here. You are welcome as well. The last we started with this, we talked about Christian parenting. We discussed a whole lot of things, and what we said we'll continue it, and we are continuing. So I want to ask my panelists here, what are some of the qualities or signs that distinguish a trained, God-fearing child from the other child? You see, when we say this child is a God-fearing child, there are some qualities that we expect. And when we say this child is not a Christian or is not a God-fearing child, there are certain things that people want to see from that child. So we want to know what distinguishes them. Auntie Achre will start for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening to our viewers. A God-fearing child, as the name sounds, depicts God. You project God. So the very sight of the person should say something about God. The way he dresses, the way the person, before they even open their mouth, your walking should even depict God. So I think that as Christian, what differentiates us from, if we say, a non-Christian is the Christ in us. And so how much Christ is that child producing when they open their mouth to speak. And when we say that, then we are talking about the fruits you bear. And so when there are a number of children gathered, how do you tell that this one is a Christian? They are doing the same thing. Sometimes by the way they talk, by the way they eat, by the way they even approach situations. How patient are you? Your temperance. How polished are your words? How sorted are they? How encouragement, how much encouragement do you give to others when they come near you? Are you doing the same things everybody is doing? Are we clubbing and doing all the things everybody is doing? So it's how distinguished Bible says that Daniel was of an excellent spirit. Yes, and so excellency is called. So the fruit of the spirit you bear is what distinguishes you from a non-believer.
Yeah, Doc. Some people talk about view that when we say a Christian child or a God-fearing child, when they are in the house or when they are around us, then that's where they behave in that manner. That they come to church, come basomo, kaka many fame or kani walk kaka o mene gekenele show you mogbe bone you or bonami you bone you bone if you ni. But sometimes they behave otherwise. What will you say? As you are a professional teacher, you deal with kids. What will you say about this?
Okay, thank you very much. Menele Mariga. No nyeme mi manyedi omanye. When last time is Mariga. All right. Ke one talk where different say ni can be in your team about depending he need work kwame. Because ke one kwame shia to bono wie oba ka ke bono na le shia be na kan. She can one kwele bono to bono onye mi wie. It means that be isani gbe kan hana na ke ejeshian ni a behavior bono ba twa ke na ejino ni akechosele. Work be no work be we are looking at Christopher Chosimo. And or bekena kan e besani bekena chosele Christo mi keba kuno wana akeshe Christo suye emi. In here 5 topics ko meaning turn menen kan fe aja kenken no ji boni esane wo chose beken na ewi eha. Okay. Noni ji enyo no boni afioni how to do things. Noni J10 no Bonnie Akasioni how to study. Noni J10 how to make money and save money. Noni J anymore Bonnie Ebafe ne kaba him how to get married or stay in marriage. Get married and then stay in marriage.
Okay, so with this when you bring it to our local dialects, then you have to come back to English.
Yes, yeah, okay. You're funny. All right. So, to open your one way, Chosemoy ni. So okay. So do 2 all right. Okay. So what I'm saying is that we're talking about parenting, and so there are 5 things that, out of research, I've realized that we miss in the house. Some families will give us 2. The other 3, you need to find them for yourself. Niji, how to talk, how to do things. Some children we meet, you realize that menelini femo, elirimo. Kweke onupan yonaka umena chosile. Kake ebu pake ake Kristo ni chosile pubune njopo bana erimo miaka umene achosile. Kwa ni femo yonaka umene lele eleshia ni femo. Kete kuno honaka eleni femo. He knows how to do things. You don't have to call for him or her to do it. He or she knows that, well, I need to find something to do to support whatever is going on at the moment. But the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I share have most of the time. But I also think it's our responsibility as Christopher to give that to the children, which is how to learn. Because Nikasemo learning a chose we can be, or even to study the Bible becomes an issue because we don't know how to go about it. Not only that, Shiani Chomo school, to learn from school, go to school, and reason why you have to go to school. We see it as the child must go to school, so we put the child in school, But if we are looking at parenting, then it means that Christian parenting, then we're looking at the Christian trying to ensure all these things we can kasi. All right. No, can obi me a question from my point of view, my quick from these areas. Okay. Many I can handle in these areas. And that will help me to be able to tell that, oh, this child has really been taught with these precepts. Thank you.
Thank you. Auntie,
I just want to add my 2 pence. One I'm particularly concerned about now is integrity.
Okay.
Integrity. And the second would be discipline. Integrity because we cheat as a people. We are cheats. We want to make use of opportunities which are actually stealing. We need to teach our children integrity. What do I mean by that? If your child is writing BEC, the child should know that I'm writing the BEC out of what I know. Not necessarily that I must stop it and get into this place by all means. And I remember a few years ago, one of my children was writing BEC. When I finished, and she finished and I picked her up, she said, a certain person was invigilating us. And that person was telling us that those of you from so and so school who are doing better, teach the others. And I said, but that is cheating. You understand? If before the exam anybody approaches you for assistance, that's fine. We have so warped our thinking that when people insist on integrity, we think they are something. Do you understand what I mean? We think they are something. That's one. The second is discipline. Maintaining discipline even when as a parent you are not there. You should, for instance, personally, my children know that there are certain movies and settings, even on Netflix, whatever. You know your age, you know what you're supposed to watch. I don't have to be the one to tell you that this one, you don't watch it. So right from when they were young, if you see the age, the circle with the 13, you know which one you're watching. When you see 16, you know which of them can watch. And when you see 18, you know of the 3 of them, which of you can watch. And it's a certain kind of discipline. This afternoon, I was on social media. I saw that some people were going to write an exam. Apparently, they got there after 30 minutes, contrary to WAEC rules, and they were not allowed to write the exam, but the person's reporting, speaking. Timuye say ye exams, muye say me say girl in it because as I say who say exams ye raho 30 minutes and I say mo ja is adie no yen penso no de ni ewrem 30 minutes to time. Now what to bu ase abobo umpa ya setre wo ho ansa na wa ye exams. About 30 minutes after, no discipline. You are speaking as if you have a right to come in late. Now say we say that you the na jina baby ebe ye den no ya yefra. O ma ye ntra say ntim fifiri. Because I can't know. But those are things that bother me a lot. So we say ubani ye Christonia. The integrity should start from home. They should know that wo she dem mo. Na so bi ba ho Unko kan chene say, Mama say, Bekachre me say, Oniho. Honesty, integrity, discipline. Mama, those things are things that these days, mua kwa disuane, mua kwa brichire ni adiye no. Mose sa abdiye no, bi a sister Dr. Achire no, omone me nya adwene. Akola adiye, onye me ba nya madamfo. Me ba ye me ba. Pacho de me kanu ntiazi. Me ba nya madamfo me ba ye me ba nti onye madamfo nti mitumi tia no but oye me ba. My child should know that I'm not going to allow for abuse of any kind. Me mane won kire no se bia ne ho akire no ohun se bibi nkoyi a ese so otumi beka but me nkonko tena school mu se me kofa me ba na akola no nka se obon komo kakra ansa wa betena kem na mimi ni adaje eti obu ho suro ne ba mimi suro me ba nye madamfo me ba ye me ba That's how I see it. When they grow older, as they grow older, the conversations change. When they are much younger, said the etie no ho, omo nyini no, enkomo no ho, but omo ye me ma, omo nye me namfo.
Exactly. And actually, you see, we are asking this question because Ghanaians, they will say Ghanaians, say 90% or 80% are Christians and Muslims. In fact, I'm not too sure about the percentage, but I know that Christians are of majority in this country. But our behavior, our attitudes towards things are not like we were brought up from a Christian home. You understand? That's why I want to do, because when you go to the parliament offices and stuff, what we are telling, the bribery and all these things, it is the Christians. And so we want to know, those who are not Christians, they will say it's normal, but there's nothing they are doing it. So why is it that we call ourselves Christian from Christian homes, and we do go to church? Everybody belongs to a church, either Baptist, Methodist, or whatever. But still, our attitudes and actions. So it is believed that, like we Christians, our training, is it up to what the Bible says, or we are doing our own thing?
Can I say something? That there is no group of people who are more hypocritical than Christians. Okay. Christians in this country, we are hypocrites. I'm sorry, I don't know the English of the Bible, because me I read chi, but the American do you understand what I mean? But American Nansu emwa hoden de yempe ye ba ha say sisi ene Methodist for Roman for ni ade ni e saline si ye ba communion ba bi e de yensa begu ene se de yetimi de ade bo yetiri so ni ade ni ye saline tin be di communion no a wo be ka se botato ye techre maso enane nansu and that it bothers me a lot, the fact that we are hypocrites. And we don't even realize that what we are doing is practicing hypocrisy. Where does it come from? I think it comes from home. The fact that the behavior we put up in church does not reflect anything what is at home. So our children also think hypocrisy is normal. Because I've worked in Methodist in Presby, but when I was in Kumasi, I did a lot of work. Because nyana me huno na fe misro se me de me ho be bata enioma mu bebre nyame anim de wo be hu se Kristo ni leader betumi aye ne entine se yesa no na ka hwa na ka people in my, I used to be a prosecutor, as I'm sure you know. I have done cases involving fathers sleeping with their daughters in the presence of their wives because they are so busy covering up their their reputation. Said the beya abontin fo nyina be hu se bibia ye fine ti no akola no ko ka kire ne maame kwa ne maame to me ka say ye din men kan wansem. So the child grows up thinking that everybody has a secret life, so let me do the same. That kind of thing. We are hypocrites. No other name for it. Yes, ye be nipa ni ma ye hu ye said ye nyame hu ye ya kasa bre ye mu bebre ho anke de ye hu ato 440 ye dwane. It's a problem. But it comes from home. If you would also look at it, the way your mothers raised, and at this point, I would not fault the fathers too much, because the very nature of child raising depends heavily on the mothers. If your mother raises you with principles, you will have principles. When I see people not doing homework, but on your consistent on your homework, it's the parent who should make sure that the homework is done. Copy na later na mama na sign it. So if your child copies homework from some place and you as a mother you sign, you are teaching your child fraud. Say no to me sign it. Little things like that which we think are little things like when your child is late getting to school, and instead of you rendering an apology, you rather would prefer to have words with the teachers. You are teaching the child that it's okay. That kind of thing. And that lack of responsibility, you know, what necessary do back school in terms of kind what necessary which you say ye me bow baby sam say what is poor baby no baby sam. It's not possible. What they call unya 40, 50, 60 meaning say ya what dear. Dear wunya ye no ehun ejuma and our school. Ehun na obeko. Let them understand that. But we have no integrity, and it's showing. If I have any principles, I got it from my mom. Patroni America not say I got it from home. Nya yesua was school no ni sa ne omane de eye kakra. But enye ni nyina, most of it comes from home.
Most of it comes from home. You being the teacher, I say. You see, when the BC, when the BC they finish the exams, and we are looking for schools for our children, there you can see the parents, the kind of training we are giving to our children, because I realize that a lot of parents are paying money for the schools to take them for their first choice. So if my child they want I will not mention a school, a certain class, and then I will go and pay. Is it good? And those who are paying are Christians.
People who are collecting
Are Christians. Few of them are otherwise. You see, so we want to do, as a parent, how can you train your child to know the principles, the Christian principles, so that the child follows? So that when the child stands, we will know that yes, this is a Christian, this child is from a Christian home. She has been brought up very well.
Thank you very much. So that's how come I started by saying that there are a few things that every parent, because here we are meeting here to teach or help the parents know what they are supposed to be teaching. So I started by saying that there are 5 things that every parent, if you don't know it, you should add it to your list because you're a teacher, whether I like it or not. Teachers are not the only people teaching in classrooms. All of us are teachers. If you are not, you become one, whether you like it or not. Even if it's not your own child, you have someone's child to take care of. Taking care of that child is not just giving food to eat, taking he or she, or taking the child to school. After bringing the child home, there are other things you need to teach the child. The child must know things from the house and then some from the school. Funny enough, in school is timetable. From this timetable to that timetable will close. So you can't teach certain things. But as we've just started saying, majority of the things must start with the parents in the house. That's why we say parenting. We didn't say schooling. Or we say we take them to school. It's parenting. So the parents must make that conscious effort to say that I want to train my child to become like this. You see, if you decide that, then you need some topics to work with. Yes, you need some topics to work with. Topic number 1, teach your child how to talk, where to talk, when to talk. You need to teach. It has to be this must be part of your list. Secondly, how to do things, where to do it. You know, everything has to do with the parent. If this doesn't happen, there becomes a problem. The child leaves the house, and whatever the child wants to do, the child will be doing it. Some parents will take care of their children, and then your child will come and marry that child and disturb the life of that child. So if we want that to stop, then it means that starting from now, parents should now begin to make conscious effort, follow certain guidelines. Every day, make sure that you are following it every day, not some day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 month, and then you stop.
So it's supposed to be routine.
Yes, consistent, because consistency is what will make the change. If you don't do that, you see, I was telling somebody yesterday that it is not about what somebody must do. Okay, it's not about what somebody must do, because sometimes we tend to say, and they have to do this, and they didn't do that, and we have to do, and it has to be somebody doing something. No. In fact, even your own blessing comes from what you have to do. So if you don't wake up to do something about it yourself, there's no way it's going to change for you. Yeah. Okay, so if you want things to change, that means that Christians must start changing the way they do things. If Christians are not changing the way they do things, it will continue like that.
How can we change?
Yes, so that's what I'm saying, that based on what we are studying right now, parents, we're talking about parents, so parents must ensure that I want my child to know how to talk. So I need to find the information that will help me to be able to teach my child to learn how to talk. The royal house, a royal family, they train children. They bring them up in a certain way. You have to be like this. There's somebody seeing to it that, but at the end of the day, the child should know how to do this. So if you are not from a royal house or a royal family, and you want your child to be, like we are saying, when you say integrity, this child is number one. You ask for this one here. Then the parent must start doing it now. Unless the parent doesn't have it. If the parent doesn't have it, then there's no way the child is going to have it.
Okay.
So
the parent
must start. The change must start from you.
Okay.
Because if you don't have it, you can't give it.
Okay.
So if you want it to change, then the parent must change. Then we can pass. Even if you don't say it, your child will be copying from you.
So the parent that we want the parent to change, the parent is a Christian. He or she comes to church. Mm-hmm. We give the word and everything to the person, and the person thinks she's doing, but you are not seeing any change from the parent to the child. So let's say if you're a leader here or you were a pastor, or what do you do? What do you do to the parents around you?
We know some of the children around. We know their parents, and some of them we know the way they behave. So as a leader, we can approach the parent and then advise. Oh, we see your child behaving this way. I think you can do this. If only the parent is going to take it.
Okay.
If the parent is willing, why not? We'll take it from there. But if the parent is not willing, then that's the problem.
Okay.
That one you can't do anything about, because the person must first.
I disagree with you even before you land.
Okay.
So I know this Church of Pentecost. Mm-hmm. Now there was an instance where this young girl got pregnant out of wedlock. Mm-hmm. The parents were leaders. To say leaders, but for them, it's a good example. Deaconess, any elder, that's there. You know that when the girl got pregnant, the parents, you two almost saying, or no, abaywa now you're of full age, where the 20 something, then you saying. Ye to almost saying because ye busa won asembi ye busa won say nti uba no ye nti to me sorry free fie ekoda baby made chi leader na wo hwe enti ye wonia leader say ye, and that's the thing we should the example you are giving. Ye wo leadership material ne wo church members material won to me nye leader na enkobase ye fro ne waka asem wa ye okon dendende to me nye sofu na say obabi fa kwan bi so a na nye okon dendende, because even the Bible says obi to me nsho no ani fie so a oni kwan so hwe asafo no so. That is what the Bible no minim ni twi mesremo ada enti yemfa ne se onipa ne ya sori pani wa hu se enoma bi esikwan bi so tafrache ebi ni pitakwe we hu so obi aba o sha atade ni intestines nyina egu abonten because of ni mini na wo frɛ na ka chen say no atade yi won sunu nyina egu abonten se me ba me ma me hu me ene o ma me no so ye leader wa asafu imu a ni edi kan eso otena ase ansa, because se won to me ntia ne ba me hu a wo besa ne ho se oba betia me pacho ne me kan yeti ase enti pamucho Methodist for mu ensusunsura asem yesura asem ye ka asem ani yesuro. That's the problem with this the Christians now. We have somehow managed to lose our sense of self and the ability to express what is obviously wrong, and it is also showing in the society. Oh my God, na yetimu sesi ano de waye bone hu nya hi said the obie na no kan mpacho ne make no twi no ke betwi e fa twon na Near why bonny no one said you'll be an anokai as soon as you are bonny, and it is also showing in the church. But so be as a penny, near who maybe or coin be swa. It does not matter. It is time for us to be able to take a firm step. But me must say, Obi, or no, not ye may was Sunday school mayen, or no now, or preaching mayen, or no, ye bibia mayen, on to me, Minim se Methodist as of woman. A yena se ufie and to 2 years. Ye from presiding where they will tell you to go and put your house in order.
Exactly.
Ye can't just say you ready. Nemo Yebeka just say go and put your house in order. In the same way, see who can be so say as afunumu and you may be in koye na say or penny pana. First, I can't say to me, friend, catch and say, for a juma to, no, see you feel we are brother for a juma. That's how it should be.
You know, your question was, say, Obi a Christoni or Asafumuna Neba, Nisubaina Senetiano. So there are 2 things here. There's a parent, a member, and then there's a leader. And then you cited an example with Pentecost. Also, Omonshisheno says that when it happens, this is what we have to do. Unlike some churches, it doesn't work like that. Intino say, "Uni ne pano kokasa in love," and the person does not accept it. It's just little you can do. But when Nipani a leader, that one, there's a lot the church can do. Intino say, "Nipani per leadership there's something the person must do." But if the person is just an ordinary member in the church, or no, just comes to church, but just that or active, they be sorry. It's just on the individual. No can say, "Oh, me person me bano, obi waha ne bano, or no him say ne bani hiamwa, or pobia manabwan." People like that, they will look for business. So, or no biano be bar, the person will be happy to give out. The help can actually have impact on the family. This person doesn't need the help. He's okay with what is happening. And there's nothing you can do.
I know that there are challenges. And Kolebi or Mama, they are difficult. I understand that. But who be a yatitten entity, ye be and so that is different. What we say, Akolano, Yemfan say, Omuya me and son. Bakubi, and Omuya 5. Bakubi, why ye? Stop, why a headache? And not there will be to me in say. But I thought there being so. You ask. Let me ask this question, and it's a question I ask very often. Ye manua, wamukon no so wamuba Methodist no. Wamupeso wamuko other churches no. Why is it so? Because our children now mumma asori wa Methodist no. Omo ntifie. Omuko asori wa baby fufuro. Why is it so?
No, be to be like say influence. Say your tertiary institutions now, the way they do their services there is different. And you know, so I say, where they are ben kwan wahacha, no we go to St. Katim kwan be baby.
But that is also not.
They do that, and sometimes the spiritual aspect of it. Sometimes Omoka say you talk. Sometimes Omoka say sunsum niha. Into sunsum baby. Oh, that is what is it. So that is that. So I want to ask Auntie Achre that how can we help? When we talk of we're talking about parents, how can we help them? How can we help our children to mature? So there are stages. Omudu baby are not but how can we train them, teach them, guide them so that they can mature?
Okay. I would say that they came from one angle, Auntie and I support it 100%, but there's the other aspect that children don't come from parents, they come just through us, so they have a source. God himself created Adam and Eve, but they rebelled. Did God fail? Eli trained Samuel. Samuel was a very good child. His own children, Hophni and Phinehas, they were rebellious. Did Eli fail? Samuel, a very good person, trained child who grew up, and God himself recommended Samuel. His children, because of his children, the whole Israel asked for a new king. Did Samuel fail? So what we are saying is that the training of the children, it is from God. That because you see, God is the source of that child. You as the parent, you are just the instrument. No matter how well Christians train their children, when they go to school, there are Muslims children there, there are Ikanka children there, there are worldly children there. So the first question you asked, now when they come home, they will be angels to you and then become ragamuffins in the school there. One time, I was coming from town and my children were washing. It was a Saturday. I heard from outside their phone, them yelling. Now me imagine them when I get there. As soon as they saw me, what's now was starting. Now Besiane, she didn't see me, so she was ba. So we drew honor. They were expecting me to talk. Mankasa, because they miss my phone. So when I entered, I was just asking God what I should do. I didn't talk. It was the whole, because Miss Mami phone. I realized that at that point it was the Holy Spirit that made me not to talk. Do you know that Osaye thing took over? Osaye, from morning they sang Christian song till in the evening when we had finished everything, and the boys started some songs. Said no, let's sing in the morning, and so I did not talk. But because I depended, because I was very angry, my first question would have been, have you seen us play this radadadada song in this house before? And so you would ask, where did they learn it from? Now the TVs, the radio, everywhere, something you did not teach your child, they will learn it. Take the God factor out of it. Okay. And that is the number one thing we should connect to. Because every armed robber out there comes from a home. The same way every pastor comes from a home. But there are pastors whose children are worse than the children of armed robbers.
So it means that the pastor didn't train the child well. Because sadly they should have a sort of...
I have this verse I want you to listen to. 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 13.
Okay.
What God told Samuel to tell Eli.
Yeah.
And I declare to him that I'm about to punish his house forever for the iniquity that he knew, because his sons were blaspheming God and he did not restrain them. The punishment on Samuel's failure was the fact that he knew that his children were doing something and he did not restrain them.
Okay, so and if you heard about God and
go on.
Yes,
but what I'm saying is,
so
even as an adult child, even as an adult child, parenting does not end even when you have adult children.
I agree. I supported everything you said, though.
I've seen is
but
that,
I'm just saying that we can't take the God factor out of it.
I agree, but I have a problem with this thing that people have, especially in our current circumstances. I'm a nipa bi adwen say, o ya de no bi ka na chese nipa no on pe wasem. No. Do you understand what I mean? O ya de no nipa no obi ka. The first person wo former assessor ka your parents. If your parents tell you that you've done something wrong, you will not bastardize the person from outside who says it. If your parent does not tell you that you've done something wrong, na say will be beka no on pewasem, because you hate my child. Ade we me will be abre na say mi will be. Say nipa ne esi kwan bi so. Nenye na woka no because ne maame ne papa nka nkyere no da say ade na oye nenye anase yentwi nanim wo ho yantia ne dendendenti obi foforo kapena chese nipa ne mpenasem. It is a duty of a parent to reprimand, to restrain a child, even the adults. Omo enyini tefa say doctor say me assure say o maame wo ho a osuro maame kakra, because ebia o maame no onfa ho ne o doctorate awabo ohun a de onima ne se odinyamesom tete e wonti adentina. That's it. Even when you are grown. Because I remember the other day we were saying it. Eric said that he was very disrespectful to his mom. Nanani mami na ye din wo phone so. To owie ye no busan say waka say we or say ai or say krache mami nka nkyere wo ne. Menya wo district officer wo. E na menya wo ho ahwan manage. The one make kasa kasa ne bio. And if that is how you talk to people, you better watch the way you speak. That is, it is the next time we'll be so catch and say we nim kasa. What?
So now a Christian, how can we reprimand them when the child goes wrong as a Christian parent? So woba eye bibi bonia say na wo se otiano na wo che no kwan pa onfaso.
A Christian parent, you must be fair, you must be firm, and you must be fun. Because
you must be
fun. Because sometimes when you become too rigid in the home becomes uncomfortable. You see, Bible says that God told Abraham that I know that as for my servant Abraham, he will bring his children in the way of the Lord. But now the fathers are shaking their responsibilities for mothers to train children. So we are turning a whole lot of things around. Yes, we are turning a whole lot of Bible principles around. So there's I'm not surprised a lot of father, as so before growing up, when you see your father coming, it wasn't the best anyway.
Human rights.
But you see, so being fair is that, children do childish things. So, but you as a parent should be able to distinguish between those childish things and foolish things. What are the childish things? Maybe what the child did. Is it out of inexperience or the way onim say ne ho pemade e bebo na aboho ana say something nkola nyoma ana say akola no onim ade menye, but she just doesn't care. And so you must, so onim na say a childish thing and be compassionate. You still have to be fair enough to let the child know what went wrong and what she should have done. It's a state of correction for the child to learn, so that next time on yes abim. But so ni more, and also so no how as people, how do God relate to us when we know that this is wrong and we do? How does he relate to us? He doesn't, he punishes us, but in line with his word. Nti enye se ebi amfa nse wo na we ye mikunu ba. Enye meba because eye mikunu benti me pa ni moa ma akozi se I mean wa fele nti eye wo be. You know, so in raising children, sometimes children they learn by observation. You yourself, how are you different from your words? When you say, if you do this, I will beat you. Do you beat them? And I say, oh yeah, I'll beat you. No, I know, I'll beat you. They don't take you serious. And sometimes make home fun. Maybe they've made a mistake. If it's something you can overlook it and joke around it and use agrobina for correct no. If we always also use corporal punishment to train children, there will be problems. So let's go back to source. You yourself ask the Holy Spirit to guide you to be able to play the dynamics well, to make the home a home for the children to also want to come and dwell in. So the omo waren swa omo timi the way omo ye train you omo no, they will also pass it on. And yes stiffness we will have in our generation, and then it's going on as the years are going. And your man, they are not as it is. The rules will be softer. It will not be as difficult as it was, because say social media, say they are learning a whole lot of things.
They are learning a whole lot of things.
Yes.
Fathers, have you are you still fathers? Are you still playing your responsibilities as fathers? Because they said that because fathers have kind of not, so the children are doing their own thing. You don't check them because you don't come to the house early. You go out from the house very early. You come when they are asleep. Like everything is on the women. Is it true?
Okay. Earlier I said that if someone must do something before you're able to do what you have to do, you will create a lot of problem. If we think that the father must be there before the mother can do what she has to do, I mean, then we're going to create problem. Of course, because Bema, just as she started, or see Bema no call on your mind into a colano una one no into who chama Bema naba and son of that's what I'm answering. They are doing it. He or she, the man will do what he's supposed to be doing. I mean, maybe sign. I mean, maybe susu or maybe answer no bekasa. Maybe susu or baka neka. Oh, and then yeshu. Yes, no jacolano. Ebu hosa. And I mean, maybe susu or so ba. Your bona mania no a chacolano. Quite so in the fashion. Obey. Into the colano. One papa di say, ni papa bape. And I say, when you papa me bona mania near machine. I
have a question. I don't have an answer. My question is that you nani ye kwa juma. And fan say judge for ye judge for me and teacher for ye teacher for ye nani ye kwa juma. Hunu de be ye bema bepe juma kakabiz or bepe juma ma ye be pon sister bebe fie bra nya mai. Ya na juma be na mo ye mu dwapo ma say. Ye be na mo ye me pese mi hu.
You see, it's sanity. Internet say about kakra. See the bear say it's here. You throw a bit to me. So they have to look for jobs and do so they can get the money. Last time, not all of them. See, we need to look at it from all areas because one, you will feel or her, Bema na ebibia. You will feel or her, Oba na ebibia. In terms of if you share na and you feel be on so Obani Bema ni na eko. You will feel be or even school club say a third be a Bemandi Akalan Weber, a third be a bandi Akalan. There are times where the man will come and pick the child, there are times the woman will come. It varies from every home. From me, my point of view, I've seen some fathers who are very strict. Only few. Okay, recently a gentleman on O2 many years he came back and Nadam Fubia or one me and on quantity. Of course, I say, a woman or master sound. Maybe any on me collar or see first me bow, no collar, no, with Jimmy phone, would make a crown or do no also indiscipline. And I lady Miss Antisanimo in Anna or one I won't catch him. But you see, Oba and Nkolana Moyede.
So the men are doing their
No,
work.
this one there's no man. It's just a woman.
It's just
with two girls.
Okay.
You
So
see-
you are saying that you, the men, you are doing your part.
Before I get to that, Bemana Ba says, he's on the wife to see to his maybe Obeshe Biano or Bandi Be Juma. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So sometimes, remember the Shemra said, it was some years or some Ubebano. Now, I see, telling the no Nicolana.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, so there are cases like that.
But may I think that the women should also allow the men
To handle the
be
children.
fathers?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Me say, me ma say, we the mass shame it me fear, but me ma say, me nya dear. If it comes to mathematics, I cannot. Economics, those things mean to me. Adeɛ nso a minimum yɛ ne apesire unse bo wa otumi sua adeɛ na adeɛ akye fidi dada nyina minimum yɛ tinkolai whenever they are due to write exams, Eric must be around because ono otumi sipe ti ono ne ma ne sua adeɛ ti me bebie ni wa me ma prepare ne BC da because adeɛ na otumi tena se me bo 1 o'clock no me ti bete kora me ntimi nye but you see you tell him oh enkola no BC no ASAO, you have to be here to do it. And then also sometimes we both sit them down because I've seen that in Kolano, sometimes they want to knock heads. What was the idea? They do that, and then sometimes Eric might allow them. Oh, you say. So then I told him, say, almost before they come to you, they would have come to me first, and they probably would have been refused. So now I've told him the basic answer to every question. When they come to you and they ask for something, ask them, say, have you discussed it with your mother first? They'll say, oh, daddy. Then they will. So you discuss it, and you have another thing we do. Like I told you, you know, we have our meetings almost every evening. And as I at a time, Obi wo bibi beka. It starts with devotion, but after that, say Obi wo asembi hanana bibi beka. Because they say when they are really very young, 6, 5, by 6 years now, me too, me mesro me pa. But experience now being 3 years to 4. Akakadro once is enough. After no obey steady. You don't need to. 6, 7 now that's about they are way problem. And they are problem.
Yeah, we've talked about discipline, we talk about how to train them and everything. But when it comes to their future, sometimes some parents will say that, like you being a judge, somebody will say that because I'm a lawyer, I want my child to also become a lawyer. And so whether you like it or not, this is it. And then you force the child to, do it. And so when the child rebels, you will say, so what should we do as parents? Should we allow them to, come out and say that this is what I want to do, or we should, force them to do what we want them to do?
Mama, I don't like the word force. You should guide. I wanted to be a teacher all my life because that's all I knew. All my mother and her sisters, until if you are teachers. To me, they mean himself about the one teacher, we a nurse. Yes, I'll turn to ma because my grandmother's old clothes. That's all I knew. So when I finished my A levels with my grades, I wanted to go to Cape Coast and do education because that mean him said the best thing a woman can do. And they said, now to school compound. Now that is what I felt was the best. My mom. Come back and say she forced me to read law. She told me I should go and read law. And that with it, I can even teach it. If it's the teaching that I want to teach. So my daughter too says one day, she went to school and some teacher was talking, some of you, your mothers are lawyers and doctors and they will force you. So when she came, she comes with this statement, Mommy, please don't force me. I said, what do you want to do? She says, I want to be a journalist. I said, okay. So while we were watching TV, I was showing her, have you seen Samson Laddie? He's a lawyer, he's a journalist. Next one back, Ivochri, when we read, or you're a journalist or a lawyer. And then I explained to her that when we read law, questioning technique, they teach you how to question and how to reason. It is also journalism now, koya law na koya journalist. I have no problem. But SSC council soon, and that's what my mother also told me, that practice some professional. Once ubesusu de onwato oberima so pii, because you need to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. So you guide. If you have a child who is talented in art, forcing is searching science or something, even though okase onko science na obetumi aye, but if you ebinu mo nyame talent dada, you allow them to go ahead and do it. But any force, guiding, and sometimes odinef kobebi. To say me ba oye very artistic. Gallery say what labadi street isu nyinane baby aye drawings way ye bia me de na koho. But I've told that this is art. Omo eye jewels and so ye artists. Omo eye ntoman so ye artists. They are all artists. Think of what kind of art you want to do, if that's what you want. But I also took care to my brother who is an architect. Now I'm saying also you're an artist. And to think about it and what you want to do. But so you guide them.
You guide them. You
yes.
guide them. So you being the you are in the profession. Some kids, when they come to school, you can see that this person is a talented in this aspect, and then you try to guide the parent that this is it, but the parent will say, no, this is what I want the child. So what would you tell such a parent, because you are on that field in this area?
Yes. To say senior kind, most of the time we'll talk to the parents. Say, oh, this is what we've identified with the child. Say, oh, between me, say, you're good one, you're good one. Most of the time, you're there back up, and say be a ICT or you're very good, be a maths or you're very good. But you when we say sometimes when they are going up, no, they will be moving away from some of the things. Be an all class 3, no, you're there or maths, or do classes maths on your there or you're there or science, and or you're there or let's say RME. It's changing. Into no, it should be there. Say obey to me, I say. If the child still wants to do it, we'll continue with it. But if the child decides to change, I mean, we can just encourage the child to change, because system is changing. And the interest will also change. If it doesn't change, then fine. But if it does, we need to support the child. Send a bear and your person, no, obey to me. Other than that, you know, or how it better no. So basically, that's how.
Okay, so okay.
Science, it takes a certain kind of ability. First, na near school, no do form 3. Every girl say, no casa best 40 science students. Now ma cannot arts, business, home science near there. Ti me best 40 no na mi wom. Ti me papa who say best 40 me wom. Sadi a me science student. Me so shape me subjects nankasa. Maths ni general science no. Me were form, but literature geography I was up. Me say me papa chawa, I say me koye science. But when I went to do arts. And then later I look for people to beg him for me. In those days that people were begging. Today the children don't beg. So
today the children don't beg. So what will you say in this computer age? What will you tell the parents? The parents, you know, what should they do? Because our children are learning a lot of things. They are changing each and every day. They are changing their minds. Some are Christians. They get to a point that they don't want to be a Christian anymore. They want to do other things. What would you teach? What would you tell the Christian parents? What should we do as a parent when you see these changes coming out from your child? What advice would you give to the parents?
That you don't want to be a Christian anymore is the talk. Is
sometimes, you know.
And that's okay.
When you know a whole lot of thoughts about when it's Nyankofo in church, obi kwa nzeba bebre kwado ntoy dem ana mo fama no we obi decide dem menye Christian biom obi ka da bia meka mo kwa other side mo kwa mo ye Muslim mo ye Buddhist me ye bishop on po da ye no on jintum kra. Yes, nti aba advise them because as a Christian parent, you know, you want your child to also become a Christian, because this is what you are instilling in them. And so when they get to that level, what do you do? What do you do? What are some of the steps?
Okay. And so also from age 12, from age 12, correction becomes very difficult. But if you have corrected these children, you've trained them in the way they should go, like you're in the line with your Bible. As a Christian parent, you've trained them. I don't think that when they get to a certain age, they will say that they don't want to be Christians anymore, because then it means that there was a problem with the training.
Okay.
Yes, there was a problem with the training. But if you've brought them up in a Bible way, so what happens if a parent did not bring them up in a Bible way? Nurses say, Obama say, Okoye Muslim, what do you do? I think that it depends on the age of Akolano. Say still, oti ufie dia, no, he must oshawase intino at every as I say to me control no money, because a good time there, it is not about what the child wants. The fact that I am the head of this home and you are living in my home, you must abide by my rules, because there are boundaries to every year you can go. There are boundaries, except that you're giving room as training, parenting in general, but in the Christian way, then these are the rules. But so I worry, na say be or minikun na woni baby, na say then you can only advise. You can only because recently news item be a me share say asori be a be ma ne ko na moba no ko ware no maame ne kan ya oba na ntie tie bedu time bi no obeka chen maame doesn't belong to this family anymore or then oni nukunu no recently minim say obi hwe ya omode oba na na say si owu first no be ma ne dey ice go ne so na echi oba no omo lock omodos nyina Kumase. I think they have 2 or 3 children, and Nyina has to do all in the name of religion, all in the name of Mesum Nyame. And I think, say, if it's within our means, and I say, you beat me as parents, Yankasa, Yanyamesum NCP. Na yintimi rezi enkolano ewo nyameso ekwan so enye sade I guess to a point where we are hwia enye yebiem you can't correct it anymore. The way eduanu nyine no sa na betilti ebe intino omunyi wie dia ene na metize doctor say na bebo mpaye ene na jama mpaye bone.
Dog who will be there for.
Oh yeah, I mean from day one the child is looking up to the parent. Even though sometimes you speak and they don't take, it doesn't mean they are not listening. We've all done that before, because but you are listening. You go back and then you go over it and you know that what they are saying is true. Sometimes when it happens like that, I think from day one, as a parent should let the child know, say, this is your stand with what you say you believe in. So it will be easier for the child to follow you. And when be as secondary school, they will change. But we have children, they continue with Methodist, they finish university still with Methodist, and still with Methodist. It depends on how a parent will fear. So if that's how we were saying earlier on, say, parent who see you believe in this, who say this is what is keeping the house. You see, once the child is able to see that is the only source the child would depend on if he also needs help anywhere. But the moment you don't make it known to the child, now say, sorry. When you come back, you don't practice. That's where integrity is coming. You don't practice the things for the child to know. Say, Sunday school now, then I chair or ABBI. You don't refer the child back to what they studied in Sunday school for the child to know. Say, ABBI program. Say, instead, someone be discussing. I say, movie I'm more discussing for the information to stay. You rather start talking about something else. TV. The information is not there. So I know how to say one kasano. You are not with what you say you believe in. It becomes a problem when the child is. It's easy for the child to say, oh, I do cry, you know. But let's look around. Families are, they believe in what if it shows in the life of their children. They still believe in. You understand? So until say parents, you know, but then the man who said, this is what we believe in and this is what has kept us since to date, the child will keep it.
The child will keep it. Antefia.
Yeah, I just quickly want to say before Antefia comes that it is much easier for a Christian child to say minye Christonibium than for a Muslim child to say that minye. So why? It's all because of the training.
It's all because of the training.
What has really helped me, I give them age-appropriate Bibles. Until say babies as a picture book. Then then I give them something else. Age-appropriate Good News normal Good News Bible. But who say baby say challenge say those who are artistic. More Bibles are a sign to make color near dear. So they pick it up. In the beginning, they are picking it up because of their own personal interest. But you make sure, say, as they grow, then when they get to their mid-teens, you know, what will be a women, me, my children are girls, women study Bible, you know, things like that. So the scripture becomes real to them. Another thing, they say, "Enti me must say sorry." I said, "Yes, brother, okay." You read Bible once a week, and only kwesi ada na ye ba sorry no. You bomb pay once a week, and only ye tia sorry dem no. Nothing reflects what we claim to believe, and the children honestly learn by observation. If, for instance, obey nyini no catch on say me hu aware ho mfaso it means that there's a problem with your marriage. They don't aspire to be married. And now say me it means that be a unyeska na unkwa na udi enti bread or something like that. We should be careful as Christians what we show our children, because when we do, they learn lessons. In fact, enkola nipa in general, there's a lot more to what you see than what you say. Enti minim obi no mo ayen fanse o adwumam obom pa tata nso ebi a bribe ko dwuko brema nyina ono oje nipa ne mfa anya hwe. So let's be careful what we show our kids. Tension will fear bebre no. You understand what I mean? Now say if you heavy we take ourselves too seriously, no teasing, no joking, nothing. First Puritans, I don't know whether I know about those kinds of Christians. The very early Puritans who made Christianity look so burdensome. Most of that is how come Puritanism did not survive. Puritanism did not survive because they made Christianity too heavy. And nobody wanted to be like them. And sorry, money are there okay. Me de me jidi say ye Methodist for no. Say ye ma asafo no ye attractive by ye ma betinem. Cause say secondary school no mo koya. SU wo ho. Oba no oko school no. First thing January, oko top books no. Ushe obia ne ni de age appropriate. Uto a daily bread obanu better daily power. Ni wenye nkakra or daily guide. Ni ade, you know everybody and what they will read. You ask them whether they've had their devotions when they are in school, because ene de nyame adom telephone wo ho nti na wo devotion ye che me say me che, because me won say bi no one man no devotion no personal no mo nye ti me unim say nwumre e betimi afro bia. I've also noticed, say, enkola no mo Sunday school no. Ye di omo betena asori dem na ye ba asori dem na omu di echi no. Say me ba we dem aka Sunday school no si onko no. They grew up not knowing anything. Oba asori enti minimo bia no kwa asori from childhood. Oni ni maame ne papa te asori dem ho se da bi okwa na osunti ya ma na tena ho. Enti basic Bible stories like, oh, do you remember Deborah in the Bible who until that? Do you remember anything about Judges until that? Because Unse Sunday school no, they contextualize the stories into a cast story now. What are the lessons we've learned? Na omesua. They don't learn. Mama yema kola nko Sunday school, no matter how young. Opon baso abusa ne say eden na usua ye. Osuba ha okọ no mo nsumoja. Oya kakra obejai. No apetofi bi die akrokro.
Hallelujah. No apetofi bi die akrokro ne de wasi bebe. So baby ayedu ye be ma say who question 1 or 2 bia na what the abana answer, then we wrap it up. Any questions? Do you have anything to say? Any contributions? Any questions? Okay. Contributions.
As ye kano, to say Sunday school say me, make I say me jaya like me jaya Methodist for like 10-12 years, but because of that my Sunday school experience that I have emra from my childhood, no, me koya like my coaching that Sunday school thoughts and reflection had always pulled me back to Methodist. And to Methodist, like as parents, you know, we should all encourage our children to be attending the Sunday school. And as you can you ask them, oh, who Sunday school, and then and most of the stories, you allow them, sing with them. My mom used to do those things. Only a better no asa. So and like at 5, 6, 7 years, I still have them in mind that those things are still there that has pulled me back to my track. So I will encourage all parents.
Beautiful. Any other? Okay.
Mama and but kakra meti no. Say Mark Bibi about Ellie, and then Mama came in to correct. Say I work for no. I say certain principles be. Remember, because we need the item. One chantro. Please, sorry, thank you. Basic. Who say Bibia? It's all catch me. If I find out I beat you, you don't fight, and it helps. They can argue hot one but blows in them. Then young papa no ya said here, especially from that KG to JSS. I say yeah, bombarding say PTAs. Anything about your child in school be there. My jama, yeah, me say papa jama me mami, but me I made it effort say me baby bia wo school no, me fa to me so. Boy. And what they be our first hand information. Nti mema no yembo mpa say nyame be ma ho kwan na yetimi edi ye ni edi mba na echi yetimi edi mba na echi. Thank you. And the other thing in Manuko school, especially secondary school, no, the other churches try to convince them. This all corners are oteswa. Say also stop here, Kolano. Teachers also are aware.
At the early stage.
At the early stage, yes.
Hello. Yes, that's no. And if you have my example, we say Pentecost Nibia. You two almost saying because of Nimbano. Sometimes no, it's not always say Akolano on deaf ye, and about Quacoya Bonino. Obi wakura oko market ni maami nim no akoye no apepa na no abet nansi enti nenye abrebia na ede akola ne bone na ese ede ehye maami no konkola no bi oho no ma se de na ye ka no obafia holy but usuma na obi wakura like ese on the be 30 minutes odi 1 hour odafie pepepe enso so behun se onye enti a omunhwe sa side no so
Please, sorry, be any institution. They will inquire, they will check, they will find out. Let me give you an example. Years ago, na branty bi called me baby. And now, also a friend of phone, so girl now for phone. Ain't adia chin, no, she had left it. She was in an apprentice, so she left the phone at the workplace. Ain't adia chin of our phone. Of our phone, na branty and busan said, na, enra, adena me free when you marry one for phone. And no, you me jawe jumem. Obua mebusa ma me se eyampa se uja ufun we adwuma mu a mpani ampa ni nuane ampa abranti ya frem ebusa me se ma paacho oba no se enra uja ni fun we adwuma mu ena me se na wodwen sesen o se na me dwen se owo baabi na nti me frɛ na wamfa na me se pa krache me na frɛ me di matem no o se o ma me nya o na o se wonya me sen wo pa kyerɛ se me meba wakwa washia waba no pa and you have the effrontery to ask me say me ba koda abonten ba ya na anyway bi ho no ma age say bia we as a parent we ehunu me so me ma me ka kire me say me koye nkola abonisem a o ma me nhye un say press before wo mrabi o ma me nhye na me hye eche. In those days, that was the rule. So we say obana sikwan bi so a wo mane nhye ve obehyeche wo suro. O ka chem say confirmation say my nkola abonisem a me hye white dress a odengo besom. You know, that kind of thing. But of course, the children should know where they stand with you. Maka chem say me say woni say anipa no be ware no. Sanimuma so na ne huni sikura a wo be ware no enti wa wonim se wo mpe nipa na ware no me ne mfa yefunu na emo no masanso akache won se wa obenyin se me nkan se koyi tugu na nya kotre na abewo. But at the end of the day, we should also be understanding of this. We also know of parents omuma eti asori dem ha ometu akotena be ma so yenim say yenim. Well, so the thing is that it would be quite be our penny. A druso so besia ifro na ye be papa ya no pepepe e ba na papa na no parent na papa na no e so to make a chance so we die she cream na sheche na fa besin ni enko ana woni menya adwen say baby
niam pesa me dey count say on say you start here now we were pointing at the parents. No matter how spiritual you are, the rest of the job is you doing it, not the child doing it. Because as you all know, akwalana una man information. No, I don't want to use the word entity. Una money, una say the man, and so about abonting. You have to give it to the child. Intino say who need information there. There's no way akwalana best to be what you want, because you see a share Christian parenting. Internet say upese obano should grow up and still continue in the same on the same path, then you have to try as much as possible to get the child to do that. Utie mama asama okana or see she was making conscious effort or to Bible or you see. So I started by saying there are things that we need to as parents teach the children how to talk, how to do things, you have to do it. If you have to draw it on a white sheet timetable and follow it, you have to do it. Because if you don't do it, nobody will do it for you. Nobody will, unless the child gets to a point to say, oh, me person me yes, and then the child starts it by his or herself. But apart from that, we parents, and I say do nice from say, you are supposed to sleep at 6, at 5. Me kwame small say, knowing how my child is, say I'll go and buy it myself. You need to know the child. So if you are not doing that job, nobody can do it for you. Number 2, psychology. I say parents be able to mission. Once you got into that point, you have to learn it. See the better you can observe your child very well. I say if you don't know your child, then nobody can help you with. You have to know your child. See the better I say who be different to akwala. You can easily tell say this is what the child is. Because parenting be ne ba no kwa want no ko bi no ba ontumi. Say the banner could be not maybe, let's say, sleeping with another man, but you should be able to tell. Say around the BBC, you should just by the way the child is being, you should tell say or the BBC. If you can't do that, it becomes very difficult for you to get your child to become.
No, I want to add that now the churches make it more like easier for people to like knowingly or unknowingly, because they know that as soon as she gets married, she can come to the altar. Say most of the churches, we experience it all the time on him, and so not the into our area and check now. So I think that as oye penny, because oye sorry penny I am pese the nimbo guasintino. Now quickly, I see a young and 10 men in Guasibia.
I wouldn't say a binimu wa wouldn't or any idea was a day would be son so on can't show or back at your so be new what that's now.
Say, oh, as a mother, Nana.
No, not you as a mother. Say, we your counsel, sir. I saw ye way say that while you're by your from why who be son or say on him, who be son so she knew how can you say, better than one was there? I dear want it. Yeah, my name by a non cream.
Mama, maybe problem, they say. The church doesn't say, Obinya Maya Wareno. The church only decides me more personally. Esa kakra me hu lawyer for sense semini adienti. Aware ani panyin sen kura ye de America tenta ye aware no. Eto de bia hu. I have seen people onim se mama nkofo hwe nkofo ma meme bi wo ho mo ahwe nkofo ma mo anyi. Enya brochire ba ye ni DNA no ne ade ba so a ankankofo nim so mo hwe nkofo ma ni ade. All sorts of things are happening. The rush. These are not decisions you take in a rush. If you say I'm fun and say wow, oh ni senti na ware no nipa ni suban ankasa kura unshede nim obeshu or nitirimu odin or something. We need to take our time. But apart from that, what I have also noticed works for me is a reward system. Oye say ya, me ye will say. If you get to say me bimo ka ni ade. Oye would want to yemfa say they be out also 30. Oba wenim di 20 a. Why you there chen you they be out di third a wako 8. What I make can say? I do rewards, not just birthdays but for performance, and sometimes for something like domestic chores. It be our baby fee no more ye scrubbing, no more ye cleaning. Oh, that's what it. I'll give you something nice. Me come kola me ba mato brooch 25 Ghana. Me that's what it. The brooch for ball belt him for a child. That is a huge. Ni rain feed that say cleaning now or cleaning ma wono now to brooch or be that kind of thing. Let's also recognize when they do well. We can't reprimand them all the time, but when we see that they've done something worth commending, I think we should also commend them.
I think our brother wants to, so then we finalize it.
So please, I want to add that I think when Mami started and then she was speaking, she was like, when it gets to somewhere, when you are raising up your child and then it gets to somewhere and then you are still like beating or doing those things like, then there's something wrong. So I just wanted to say that as parents, I'm not a parent though, but with the little experience that I have with my parents, they just make you understand that no matter how you have grown, since you are still living under their roof, if it is slapping that he's supposed to slap you for you to do the correct thing, he will just give it to you. So most of the times, parents are like, I remember in SHS, there are some students when the teachers try to beat them, they'll be like, me papa and me omumbo me daone. No, you don't have any right to say that. If our system here is not the system outside, where when your parents correct you, you can just go for the police and then, no. When the person does something that is not correct, you correct the person. And then with the correction too, it's not like you are over correcting. And then with the Christians who turn from being Christian to other denominations, sometimes too, the parents can do their part. But then when we get to school, it is also up to us to do our part. Because when you get to school, the competition there is very, very, very serious. But I'll just tell the parents that they should be calling, and then you'll be encouraging them to go to church. Because my mother, she calls you today and she's like, did you go to church? You say no. You have to explain to her, I don't know the kind of sentence you're supposed to give her for her to understand the reason why you didn't go to church. And then anytime we are in the house and then children bring this, let's say the person comes to the house, the person is having a new phone, the person brings a new pen. My mother, if they give you even eraser, she will call the person and ask if the person was the one who gave it to you. I think that one helps to check them, because you will see somebody bringing in the person, this especially with these iPhones and all those things. You see the lady having iPhone, she doesn't work. You ask them where did they get it from. He said, oh, Madam for being at the chairman. It's promotion. Those things, they don't help. Those things, they don't help. Because when you see them having the phone, like one time I asked somebody who gave me the phone, and it was like, oh, my friend gave it to me. So I asked, like, I know your parents though. Your parents can't even afford that phone for you, and then the phone has been able to get you that phone. So I believe checking up and then doing all those things will also help put them in correct places.
Also help. Thank you very much. We are so grateful to you. Okay. Officer, okay.
All the suggestions so far have been contributions, so I have a question. You know, sometimes we have some children who are like me. They just want to go separate from how all the siblings are or how they are being raised, just for the sake of the experience. Now, as a parent, how do you handle a child like me, who his whole life he just wants to he likes enjoying different things. Like he just likes
enjoying different things.
No, not in that context.
I absolutely understand.
Like he just likes.
I absolutely understand you. You know, the grass always looks greener on the other side. I have a recent experience. I was actually telling the people in my house about it. This very Christian couple raised their children Christian. Bakono or say no Philise enyamesum sawe no. The whole thing was very boring for him. How can you grow up? You don't drink, you don't go clubbing. What a boring existence. He told his later he told his children, say or no dear ye na dream say, oh yes I am obepiska. And later I was asking, when a car say nyamesompa ni ohianenam. But you know, eventually when he was choosing a spouse, or ye na dream say krife pa die on waribida. If he say okwakofa krife or no susu beye no alcohol, no gospel, just a gospel ni ade no ko waribi. Mama, I will tell you about it later. And we ye cry. And it just is like the story of the prodigal son. You know, this existence is boring. A day we de nyede. Mum famisika mame. Mum minko jimeni kakramra. Ubekwa kodi preko eduane. Kialaki. So, and of course, we feel that maybe there is some other existence. I remember when we were 12, 13, my papa said, "Inina ko egu kem, enodi yen ko nightclub." Yinina, all four of us and my mom. Osi obi anshe jeans, obi anshe top, no di yen ko nightclub. Hotel obi nightclub. Kodru hono si enueni esum enankani atwa yira. Bibiye ni ha. I've been to me papa kasa ne ye de ye koye. He because osi we nya dia yehuri wo edeko enueni esum na nipa tim enankani atwa yira osemu ehu enu ane club yetra obi anye ne kokonom ne yesanko me ntwe esika nko club bi because I've been me who say esum na nkani atwa yira there's nothing in it. The thing is that sometimes in the bid to experience something else, I wish I said kadakro me de mo be ko baby. Sometimes I wish anka youth yen organize yen ko tena criminal court kakra yen ko sra nsawamfo no kakra say adamfo bi wo ho a wo ko fa ya I wish we could. Mommy organize it. Yenko visitation or prisons. And some ye busa brakofia or betchere yenko sra omu ye ni omu kwa sore bako pe. You'll be shocked. The day we were as law students in second year, we went to visit the prisoners because it was part of our training. Na ye wura prisons library na me mate bako bi bowra ho no di sumpie. Ade I've seen one of my classmates from secondary school there. We were all in shock. You need to say your classmates what did they do? Me personally, there was a day I jailed a woman's 2 children. None man is had 2 boys. No, me jailing one dako omumi enu because they were involved in something. Me buy any man me see no but 10 BM and no but me buy man I just went straight to bed because me cry me take China me de me pen keke chura de no me coffee na me raho. And even now me kaya na me raho. It's not that attractive, but I wish Senka ye more open. Na ye hu said ye tie obi se okwa cocaine na hwe kakra wenya addiction. Obi se okwa nsa hwe kakra wenya addiction. Onya yanka obi film but ontumi film. Ki etumi di won fa kaule kakra. No mo hwe said ye hotie kakra. Mukura mu ni baby eton cocaine metumi a kire mu baby eton ko busa won. If you get into the habit, how to even come out of it. But we should also tell them to be me na me kwa adwuma na me hu bibia me ba say na ade amen say ni see. You don't protect your children from knowledge. Say wo momu say dey ekoso ni. But there's nothing to it, brother. Club.
Okay, I want to quickly add that as parents, all our children don't relate to us the same way. They don't behave the same way. They all have different temperaments. So if you have a child that is very is an extrovert, would want to try everything, I think from beginning you would start seeing those traits. So you have to get closer, much closer to that child and ensure that you are drawing that child close in guide, because some of these children are very intelligent children. Those who want to go, they are very intelligent. You have to be yourself, you have to be 100% straight around this child and then be able to carefully guide. Sometimes when they want to explore and it's not something that would destroy them, allow them to explore, and then after you see that it won't yield to anything except something that would be troubling for them, but otherwise as a parent allow them and guide them small so that they would also, because if it happens like that you kind of restrict them, you break them, and so you carefully guide them and lead them through.
Yeah, so okay.
What I also say is that the parent must assist the child that wants to explore. Like we are saying, go with the child to see how they do it. Let the child see the end of it. Okay, so if like the prisons, like we are saying, take him there to see how things are.
Are you not scaring them?
But they have to have, they say he wants the experience. It's part of the experience. Yes, he has to, because when the child doesn't see it, what you are saying is not true because of what is in the head. Because he's also done some analysis and he thinks that it's possible. So let him experience it to see that this is how it starts from the beginning to the end. When a child sees it, he will come and tell you what he needs. Because that one, there wouldn't be any guidance. Because the people there are those who are going to guide the child. But so in the corner, you go there, you see the end of it. And even hospitals cry. Also, some husbands go to labor or they come back and they don't want to give birth again. Yeah, it's like that. So when you have the experience, in fact, complete. But you don't say, okay, if that's what you want to say, you are no. You go with the child. And then throughout, you talk the child through it, you advise the child, because when you just leave the child, is not, I say, cancel, no, you are not doing anything. So if the child wants to just guide it. I know a parent who's saying that if you think you want to do boyfriend, make sure you have condoms with you. Or if you come and not talk on our background, now say I can't could be. You understand? So if yeah, you know, so if the child say, okay, this is how, okay, don't worry, just and then call, because that's why you are the parent and you are the teacher trying to guide the child. And then that's there, or you will not get the child back.
So we will.
Shock therapy.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is such a thing as shock therapy. Say, Asante for cancer, Sakurasi or Padi Kokwehua, Yadidamana Chereno, you Uberman anya shock. Or now, if you allow it. Now, no call Bejineni so above din Ebion Kancho, but there is such a thing as shock therapy. This thing about visitation, near dear, every term, Obia Umakwanya, you come to my workplace, all my kids. Me ma obetina ho a whole day. Me ne won ka hwe. O de betina call to them ho no netie manso ni bi. Keke bi wo a me sorry free akọ. Ebuda metis yesi case fufuro bi. Oh, ko Auntie Lydia honom. Or ye case bi kona kotie bi. Okobeba, hey mommy, because you see sometimes you are telling them, sir, a 3 minute tattoo ni adi infaso obi eni so. O kan want ase. But they don't understand say tattoo no. Ye gang bi na a young label on Tiasie, and I would just say, oh, we are called and I quite jumem, main too full, main country. There was a day I jailed a particular young lady, and when I came, I said, oh, look at this judgment, read it, because she was really young. She wasn't even 30 yet. Oh yeah, Jumana, and one say, oh, you be a Juma, Nasika. Afanensa say, udisike bijano, no, why yesika no basa ni ade dakro, ubeshi obia. On cancer so the one me obema police acho. And the day I finished the judgment and I said they should take her down to the clinic. Now no musu. You see, when you are in court and the judge says take her down to the clinic, it means that they are going to check if you are not pregnant. It means you go to prison that day. Because your confessor when onyema naturally say ye de woko. I jailed her 6 years or 8 years that day. Obeba no say ye tisu manu kura na president mano reprieve kura 3-4 years where we school no ukura BSc banking and hwan enso adwuma pa unya biem. The punishment is not even the prison. Enter the bia now the omako. If you think you want to explore, come let me take you on the exploration journey. I'll take you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think you have really done well. When we started with the parenting, we wanted you, the parents, we know that you can train your children, but we also want you to know that there are other things that you do not know, that other people know more. I believe you have learned a lot. As a Christian mother, your duty is to train up a child in a Christian way, so that when they grow up, they will not depart from it. Even when they depart from it, as our sister just said, they will come back. So please, parents, please train the children well, because they are our future. They are the ones who will come and change Ghana for us. The change starts from you, the parents. Thank you all very much for joining us. Those who are joining us online, we are grateful to you. And those who are here, we are grateful to you that you've been able to make time to come. And so today, our able men and women who helped us to digest this topic were our own counselor, Achre Manison, a professional counselor for that matter. Thank you very much. Yes, I see where you do a shas. They be ever give out wire the pa and they are 2 years boso Achre some numuye. I'm a bibia koye. And ya bra Dr. N.O. Mensataki or Yankre Nipo or no shabo ye counselor nipa or Zansu ye chire ni ye friend no or buy or munia befuma be chreche me bibia ye kama. Na ya munim ye judge ba kope no size. See mommy we see ye can one sema adaje be boy. She's so good in her area. ɔkyerɛkyerɛ mu ama wo sɛ ampa onim dia ɔka na ɔka nso a wotum sɛ asɛm wei nyansa wɔ mu papaapa yie yaya maame justice efia saribotwe wayɛ adeɛ paa wayɛ adeɛ enti mpanifo yɛda mo ase bebree yɛda mo ase paa ɛna yɛwɔ yɛ nuanom binom nso ha ɔmo boa adwumadie papa they really helped us when we started this program. They are the ones who have been helping na ɔmo ayɛ adeɛ paa yeah brother Michael Eshan ɛna Augustine Apia ɔmo na ɔmo yɛ cameraman for ene ɛna yɛ sound ni yɛ Joseph Kweno ɔno no hwɛ yɛ sounds ni bibia ma yɛ our projection Solomon Tete Eno Kwaku Prince Chum Boatin Brefo Kojo and Charles Dawson Omunamu help you. They helped us in the projection. And our sponsor Bakope Pacho ye sponsorship de yes Rama ye numa bebre or why was a yes and a program near Beko nenim ye de kasa ne fra because ya sorry her and ye kasa bako na ye can't cry ye can't tree ye can't brofo and I was say Jumadi no so bia to me tiase mani ye kama. In this congregation, we speak 3 languages. That's why we mix the languages so that everybody will benefit from it. So if you don't understand anything, then switch. Let somebody explain to you what they are saying in Twi or Inga, and you will understand it better. Thank you all very much. And our sponsor is Poshke Cleaning Services. Poshke has raining since day one and been giving us the Parazone, all the detergent she's been giving to us for our work to go on. And so her number is 0241 789348 0241 789348. If you need help, if you want somebody to come and do cleaning in your house, church, wherever, call her. She will come with a group to come and do a good job for you. Thank you all very much. So we will draw the curtains down. We'll meet here again next month, 2nd week in November. Thank you. Bye-bye. October.